You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
He keeps trying to sway people who traditionally vote Democrat. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump's in Miami this morning for an event next hour with Latino leaders.
The former president is really trying to court not just Hispanic voters, but really all minority voters.
Fox's Aisha Hasni in Miami.
This new Suffolk University poll out shows that Trump is actually now leading Harris amongst Latino voters in a head-to-head. He's trailing Harris amongst black voters, but put it in perspective here, he actually got 8% to President Biden's 91% in 2020, so he's doing a whole lot better this year.
Now, that survey shows that Vice President Harris's support among likely black voters is down to 72%. The former president will be holding a rally in North Carolina after 3 events there yesterday. That'll be later today as early in-person voting starts in 4 more states, including Wisconsin, where Vice President Harris was last night.
We love our country, and we believe in the foundational principles that are at stake in this election.
Calling the former president increasingly unstable. She also campaigned in Michigan and Pennsylvania. The former president posted on Truth Social this morning, "We must find the leaker who let American intelligence get out," that appears to detail Israel's plan to retaliate against Iran's missile attack earlier this month.
So the biggest unknown right now is whether the leak of this classified intelligence in any way compromises Israel's reprisal attack plans. The FBI is stepping in to launch an investigation, potentially criminal investigation here in the United States.
Fox's Jillian Turner at the State Department.
Secretary of State Blinken is on the ground in Jerusalem at this moment. He is meeting one-on-one with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It's a bit of a frantic effort on the part of the U.S. administration to try and re-jumpstart those ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas.
It's unclear who's in charge of Hamas days after Israel killed the group's leader. Meanwhile, Iran's president's in Russia for 3 days of talks with the leaders of China, India, and Turkey, all trying to counter American influence in the world. America's listening to Fox News.
The socialists who want to move into the White House have a lot of plans for your money. One of them is to control the price of food, and this is just the start. Could 401ks and IRAs be next on their agenda? It might sound far-fetched, but so did price fixing just months ago. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. If you've spent decades building your nest egg, you can act now to stop your savings from falling into the hands of the socialists. It's why Americans are turning to gold, the ultimate safe haven in uncertain times. To see how easy it is to diversify your retirement with gold, get a free info kit from my friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait any longer. Protect your financial future now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust.
Every day at 5 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. It's me, Joe Cunningham, with The Joe Cunningham Show, offering you news, analysis, and commentary you're not going to get anywhere else. The big news stories of the day, and even some of the headlines you may not be aware of. It's your local, state, and national news coverage from a local perspective right here. Every day, News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Check us out, The Joe Cunningham Show, every day at 5 p.m.
For those fortunate enough to help the person who has always been their hero, find the care guides you need to help at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. It is terrific Tuesday. Great to be with you in this beautiful fall weather. We're having, man, what a great day. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Check out MatthewJames.com, MatthewJames.com. But if you're selling a business, you owe it to yourself to find out how you can save a lot of that money that you sold your business for. All right, folks, it is election time. People are starting to vote, according to what I read, according to what I heard, record turnout in Louisiana. And, we don't have a whole lot on the ballot, but we really do have a whole lot on the ballot because we got the presidential race. We got all the congressional races on the ballot. Public Service Commission races on the ballot, one amendment on the ballot. And there's some local races going on, like a gigantic mayor's race in Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge. So there's a lot for people to go to polls. Like I said, it's been record turnout so far, but people got to keep going vote. Let me tell you, the other thing, too, is that, there's a group out there with this popular vote. You realize you got to be a sovereign with the United States of America, but every state's different. And so you do have a popular vote. The popular vote in each state determines electoral college and who's going to win. So the popular vote does matter. But the popular vote all over the country, Democrats have won that a bunch lately. And that's why they want to turn to a popular vote and get away from electoral college. And if President Trump was to win this, and I told y'all, and I'm sticking to my guns, under no circumstances will the Democrats, the Green New Deal people, the news media, and the communist China and communist countries won't allow Trump to be president no matter what they got to do to him. So this is just the start. We got to get him over the first hurdle. The second hurdle will be keeping him alive, and the third hurdle will be what will they come up with next to make sure he cannot be seated as the president of the United States. I can promise you that's in the works. Under no circumstances can they allow President Trump to be president. And it's evil. I know where you're going. Well, come on, man. It's pure evil. It's pure satanic. I know that's who we're dealing with, though. That's what we're dealing with now. Ronald Reagan, you need to go see the movie Reagan. It really was a good depiction of Reagan. Reagan was more worried about communism and China, and he was more worried about the United States falling from within. And folks, that's our biggest threat right now. It's not China outside, it's China within. It's people who have sold out like Barack Obama who wanted to transform America. Transforming America means no country. No country more like Europe. And I don't want to be a bunch of weenies. Somebody might want to be a weenie, but I don't want to be a little weenie. We need to be America. America's free, so people can go be the best they can be, and that's what Reagan wanted. Protect the borders, protect the country, and get out the way and let people go be the best they can be. People that don't want to just go be the best they can be and they want to cry and bicker, they're the ones that ought to leave the country. They ought to go to another country where they can get everything given to them. We got a fight on our hand. It's just a fight. And I'm telling you, what I'm seeing right now, I'm reading, you get optimistic, but I got a lot of hope, but it's in Jesus Christ. It's not in who's going to be the next president. Because I know what the evil we're dealing with. We're just dealing with a lot of evil. And it's frustrating to watch it. People trying to destroy our country, Barack Obama types. And I'm not talking about his race, so his color. I'm talking about him. People like him. They're evil inside. So is Kamala Harris. So is Joe Biden. That's James Carville's type of people. It's just a shame we're sitting there watching this, that we're fighting for our country, fighting for the life of the country and to be free. And as we look at give an example, Donald Trump has gone out and took every single question and comment, debates, and everything else they threw at him. Somebody gave me the other day, Trump's done over 79 interviews. Kamala Harris has done 9, all with preset questions. Yesterday with Liz Cheney. If Liz Cheney's turning Republicans to vote for Kamala Harris, we are in trouble anyway. That's Bill Cassidy type. I wonder if Cheney's going to campaign for Psycho Bill in 2 years. I hope she comes in to campaign for him. I mean, that's his kind of Republican. I wonder if he's going to bring in Milquetoast Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney Or maybe Lisa Murkowski to come campaign with him in 2 years when he runs for the United States Senate. But yesterday, Maria Shriver was hosting a town hall. And by the way, there's a clip out there. I don't have it right now. But she told the audience at the town hall, hey, I know y'all want to ask questions, but hopefully I'll ask the question you want because we got predetermined questions with Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris. And I don't see the difference between Cheney and Harris at all. Pre-asked questions. In other words, all the questions were determined by Kamala what they can ask her. By the way, she screwed that up half the time, too. They warned the people before the event. They call a town hall meeting. People show up. And then when they about ready to go, oh, by the way, you can't ask questions. We got predetermined questions. And hopefully I can ask the questions that you're thinking about, too. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, what are you going to ask them? What is your favorite color? Did you ever have a dog, and what was his name? Where do you like to shop? What's your favorite food? That would be probably the question she thought of, hoping that's what people want to ask questions. They wouldn't let them. Trump, almost 80 interviews. Kamala Harris, about 8 or 9, and they all, except for Brett Baier on Fox. And by the way, he was that got cut from 30 to 25 to about 20 minutes. So you kind of wonder what people are thinking. Let me tell y'all, folks, you want me to tell you a big difference, too. And remember, the media, the Democrats, the left, they all don't want you to have that American dream. They are, Washington Post op-ed a piece, young Americans must shrink their American dream. Now, folks, this is the same mindset as communist China and Cuba, where they can't even keep the electricity on anymore. That's what communism does to you. Okay? They're going to shut people's dreams down. Why in the hell are we telling them to go to college then? What are they going to do going to college? Except the only thing I know college is producing right now are warped minds about the Green New Deal and about how communism and socialism is good, but capitalism is bad. Why would you tell kids, shrink your dream? What are you planning on doing? This is transforming America. This is what Obama wanted to do, transform America. Well, if you got a smaller home, have less kids, save the planet, save the world. But the media and the Democrats think the same. Washington Post says young Americans should resign themselves, small houses, and a nation packed with millions of government-imported renters and buyers. Now, the reason I brought this up is I got a friend of mine that keeps showing me how, if you drive around even our own community, look at the apartments they're building. Look at the apartments they're building. The Washington Post says the new American dream should be a townhouse. Because whatever they're planning on doing to us, it ain't about freedom. It ain't about being the best you can be. It ain't being you deciding your future. You being free to go be whatever you want to be. It's them deciding the future for you. And that's, you're going to live in an apartment or a townhouse. You're going to drive an electric car. And you ain't going to have much money. And you can't have much kids because you can't afford it. And a Big Mac's going to cost you $20. That's Kamala Harris. That's Obama. But yet Obama, he's going to be in the 100 million club. He'll be able to do anything he wants to do. You people that are voting for Kamala Harris, you deserve to be poor. You deserve not to have anything. You really do. Because the promises they're making to you were the same promises they've been making for 50 or 60 years. And go look at the inner cities and look what they delivered. Doom and gloom is what they're delivering. Man, Ronald Reagan said we're going to protect our country and get out of the way and let people go prosper. Well, prosper is, well, I hope I can own a condo one day on an apartment complex that's about 1,000 feet. So I can live on top of somebody like they do in Europe. If Europe got in a war today and America didn't go bail them out, what would Europe be? Nothing. They look at it not all speaking German now. Because of freedom and a growing population and fossil fuels and the freedom to go be the best we can be is why we've won world wars. This is not what these people want us to be like everybody else. And unfortunately, people believe that the government's going to keep giving them prosperity. Look at the prosperity they gave us already. Look at your grocery prices. Look at the vehicle prices. Look at the fentanyl deaths coming across the border. Look at the rapes. Look at the killings. Controlling your life is not freedom, folks. That's the transformation Barack wants. Freedom. Controlling your free speech is not freedom. Controlling the Second Amendment is not freedom. We got an election going on right now, and we got the Washington Post coming out and saying, man, American dream, we need to lower it, cut that down. Not everybody get better, go be the best it can be. Let's keep pumping all and living and growing as a country. No. Let's start downsizing. Let's shut the American dream down for people. The American dream is what you can dream and go make to happen for yourself. That's what it is. The American dream cannot be made up by the federal government. And the federal government's trying to tell you how to dream. That's why all these countries fail and go in depressions and they get in big trouble because their government holds them down. That's the Barack Obama. That's the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden type world they want. Control your rear end. And stupid people are going to vote that way. Some of them are very wealthy, stupid people. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could? Protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases. Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call them today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. It's gumbo season. This year, I want you to try some Ragin' Cajun Authentic Roux and let Ragin' Cajun Roux do the hard work for you. Using just two simple ingredients. Ragin' Cajun Roux is slow cooked for 6 hours for the perfect dark and rich tasting gumbo. You can find Ragin' Cajun Roux and Ragin' Cajun Original Cajun Seasoning in all your favorite grocery stores today. Folks, ask them for that Ragin' Cajun. Try all your great Ragin' Cajun products. Ask for them by name in the grocery store. Ragin' Cajuns, folks. This food is great.
Good God. This thing on. Look here. I got something.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. 844-766-6607. Got some state news, all kind of stuff. I'm all over the place today. go watch the Reagan movie. It was really, it just brings you back to memories of fighting. He fought the communists is what he did. He fought them. And he was worried about communists in this country. And boy, I tell you what, you could not call him that. You can say, well, Obama's just a nice Christian man. You can believe all that if you want to. But I'm just watching it from a different set of eyes, as I tell people. Not better, not smarter, just a different set. You know, I read this thing, and the Washington Post is telling young people, I'm supposed to tell my young son, hey, man, look, don't have no kids when you get married. Y'all get y'all one electric car and live in a little apartment for about 800,000 square foot and enjoy your life. It's the best you can do. American people ought to never be told by government this is the best you can do, or the media, or the Democrat Party. And when you get to that level, you're not America. It's not America not to dream. It's not America not to be the best you can be. You know, for people who choose that, there's some people that will not choose to be their best they can be. They just want somebody to give them something. And that mentality has been trained by the government. So anyway, this article says the American dream is fundamental what it means to be Americans. Keeping that dream alive for millennials, Gen Z, and beyond requires right-sizing it by building more apartments, condos, duplexes, and especially townhouses. In the age of tight money, it's tight money because the government's printing all this money. And it's in the age of tight money and it's Toyota Camrys and Kirkland wine, it's time to readjust the scope. Townhouses consume less energy and foster healthy habits and social connection better than single-family homes. So in other words, you having a home, it's better to be on top of somebody and almost living with somebody in the community, like the inner cities. You know, it's better to be all on top of each other. Crime and drugs and, the government's and the newspapers, which is the same thing now. It's a better connecting. You're going to be healthier if you can live on top of each other. I don't feel like that way. I live in the country. I love it. It's so quiet. The family, one little puppy, lots of guns and ammunition. But other than that, I'm happy where I'm at. That's was my choice. That was a dream for me. They don't want you to do that, folks. They want you to live on top of each other. Ain't that cool? And be your neighbor for 75 years. It fosters less energy. See, always on energy. But if we drill, baby, drill, we have plenty of energy. Foster healthy habits and social connections while these rich, fat cats will be living high on the hog. The progressive cheerleading for pushing young Americans into smaller houses with postage stamp lawns, steep stairs, minimum parking, and a little privacy comes as Democrats insist on continuing Biden's high migration policy. They want to keep bringing people in. Biden has overseen a historic drop in home ownership expectations among renters. Folks, they're pushing people in there. Kamala Harris, the person running for president, 3 million homes by 2028. They want to promise to build that. The government's going to build it. And they want another 12 million more migrants in here by 2028. They're not migrants, they're illegal. Call them what they are. Is that what we want? I mean, I'm telling you, it's what they want. Folks, I want to be free. I just want to be free. I want to go buy a big house. I ought to be able to do it, and it ought not cost me any more than anybody else. This is the dream of Barack Obama. This is fundamentally transforming America. The Biden administration, and Kamala's going to keep it the same way, and this is what Obama dreamed too. Do you realize under the Biden administration, mortgage application hitting at lowest level in nearly 30 years, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association? Their American dream is this is what I don't understand. Why let somebody else tell you what's your dream, and then provide that dream for you, which is not something that you want? Why would you want somebody else to put you in their dream of what they have for you? This is sick. This is so sick. They got people voting for a sick, sick group. One economist for Harris is reporting the American dream of home ownership should be replaced by corporate investors snapping up houses and turning them into rentals for you. Folks, I've been hearing about this for 20 years. Guess what? We're looking at it now. We're watching somebody take over the country and drive it into the ground. We'll be right back. With 5 locations, I always make it a point to visit Superior Grill. I love the food there. It's authentic Mexican food with a Louisiana twist. That menu has all your favorites: nachos, quesadillas, enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, hand-cut steaks, and the best margaritas in the state. You go to Superior for lunch or dinner, and folks, you're going to thank me for it. My lovely bride and I eat at Superior Grill every chance we get. They're on Line Avenue in Shreveport, Government Street, and Holland Road in Baton Rouge, and they're on St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. But look, their new location in Lafayette is now open. Lafayette, you've been clamoring for it, and now they are open on Collie Saloon. I want to see Superior Grill packed with folks from Acadiana. The best Mexican food with a Louisiana twist is found at Superior Grill. Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, and now Acadiana on Collie Saloon in Lafayette. This is Moon Griffon. I will see you at Superior Grill. This is Moon Griffon talking about another great Louisiana company, Hudco Roofing. Louisiana has some pretty crazy weather at times. Torrential rains, gusty winds, especially up north, hail, and of course, hurricanes. You got to remember your roof protects everything, you and your family and most of your possessions. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks aren't just your average roofers. They're the #1 roofing company in the state. Whether you need a repair or a brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a CertainTeed Select shingle master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there's no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state certified installer of the fortified roofing system. And that's a big deal, especially during hurricane season. Hudco specializes in residential and commercial roofing systems and coatings. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. So go to HudcoRoofing.com. This is Moon Griffon. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so can you.
Do you crave? This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Your thoughts, 844-766-6607 on what the left is really doing in this country. And all you got to do is hate Trump more than you love America, and you'll vote for Kamala. Kamala will have you say her name. If you vote for her, you're going to get all this prosperity, from the government. Unbelievable. One day we're going to wake up. It's like my old buddy says one day. I asked my mom, how you know we were hitting the Great Depression? She said, one day we woke up and there it was. And that's what's going to happen because most people are not realizing what's going on. These young people just don't realize what they're not going to have the opportunity to do, and you better like it and love it. And that's what the media's doing away, shrinking the American dream. By the way, the op-ed ignores the illegals that are coming over here. They're taking a lot of stuff. Telling Americans to literally shrink their dream and to think small and to accept cramped living conditions alongside many millions supposedly vital new migrants. Oh, yes. Why don't the Democrats just leave the houses unlocked and say, hey, put a sign out there, 2 bedrooms, kids are gone. Welcome to walk into the house and enjoy yourself. That's what they're doing to us. They'll still have the big homes and the big cars and the big everything and eat at the fancy restaurants. You and me won't. Owning a home has long been a core part of the American dream. Today, however, there simply aren't enough affordable options, and the idea is increasingly out of reach. There's a sensible way to address the shortfall. Requires moving beyond the antiquated vision of a big house with a fenced yard in the suburbs. No. That ain't the dream. our founders had. It's not the dream Ronald Reagan had. It's not the dream Trump has. It's the dream of the left and how you control people's lives. Real estate developers have found a sweet spot with townhouses. Cheaper to build. Yeah, they build them up so cheap. How many of them are worth what they build? Usually face less not in my backyard resistance. Yes. Just throw you in there with illegals, folks. That's what everybody's voting for. Come out, or to put a sign. Got 2 rooms, come enjoy. Just to let them come in your house. Townhouses have all the trappings of a classic dream home, but they cost less to buy. Offer a low-maintenance lifestyle or more it is climate-friendly. Yes! We can get everybody like Europe on top of each other. We'll have a climate-friendly, and they'll control your rear end. Economics is driving the downshift to cheaper. Yeah, keep printing that money. We'll be lucky to pay for anything. But denser, smaller, and less private housing, op-ed notes, this is one reason the size of newly built homes has been shrinking for over a decade. People are moving south and west where housing is cheaper. It ought to stay cheaper. Anyway, this is, I wanted to share this because I thought, wow, they're telling people, you're going to live the way we want you to live, whether you like it or not. You better get ready. And I guarantee you them universities are training people about this. I guarantee you universities are training people to do this. Don't have a dream. I can't imagine living, being young and not having a dream. My dreams have changed now because I'm older. You know? Kamala Harris, you two people in Pennsylvania ought to read this. Kamala Harris's climate czar, fossil fuel industry is a death cult. She tapped loony Kamala Thorndike as its climate engagement director, far-left activist who says oil and gas workers are part of the toxic patriarchy. I mean, they're calling workers in the oil and gas industry names, and people are voting for them. Thorndike used to work with Bernie Sanders as a legislative aide. Thorndike said there's something evil about fossil fuel sector, adding there's no greater source of harm than continue to cook the planet. Nuts! By the way, the climate people are all behind Kamala Harris. This woman has a history of radical climate activism. She has attempted to demonize anyone associated with fossil fuels. Well, I can't say the B word on air, so I won't say anything. Just these are the type people that are in charge. Nuts. I'm talking about nuts. And you hate Trump? That's why you got to hate Trump. That's why you got to hate Trump more than you love America. 51.6 million foreign-born people in this country. I bet it's more than that. Here's another one. Florida migrant accused of possessing child sexual abuse material of young boys. Yes. That's Kamala's type people. Nicaraguan migrant sexually assaulted an 80-year-old woman. Another story. This happens. I like to know how many times they're not reported. Accused of sexually assaulting an 80-year-old woman in Miami-Dade County, Florida, after she fell in a home. 37 years old. Arrested October 19th. Charged with first-degree felony sexual battery of a physically helpless person. Yes, this is who Kamala Harris and the Washington Post want you to live by. In an apartment complex with him next door. Folks, I just cannot believe anybody's voting for Harris, but they hate Trump. Gotta hate Trump. This ain't no Democrat party of Bill Clinton and beyond before that. He was a pervert too. It's not. This has nothing to do with that. 51.6 million. Let me tell you something else I heard yesterday. And I've been hearing this, but I got to pretty direct yesterday. Healthcare system, especially emergency rooms. These illegals are pouring in these emergency rooms, in these hospitals. Of course, they don't have to pay for anything. You have to see them if they're going to emergency. They're using emergency rooms like a walk-in doctor. And because of our politicians on the left, they're having to take care of these people. And you wonder why my policy is outrageous? This is by design. If they ever can get for Medicare for all, for older people, you would do like Barack Obama said, hey, I don't feel good, give them morphine. Why does anybody want to vote for this stuff? Here's another one. Middle-class Americans in swing state disproportionately face unaffordable home prices. So why would anybody in a swing state, why wouldn't anybody vote for Harris? Now, there was another thing I saw which was really good news. And I'm not going to give you good news, bad news. It is what it is. The presidential election is going to come down to whatever it comes down to. I'm not convinced the Democrats are going to pull something really, really big between now and then. But now the election's over. And, of course, some of these states account votes for weeks. Never understand that. Never will understand that. But I know when I look at blacks, and if you look at everything that's happening right now in voting, I did a big take today all over the country. And Republicans are outvoting Democrats in most areas, in most states. And black voters are not excited about Kamala. And matter of fact, a lot of them are saying, what have they done? What have Obama done? I want him to keep putting Obama out there. Because it reminds you of a guy that's filthy rich, that didn't do anything for his people because he couldn't. And he wouldn't. He just wanted their votes. A lot of these voters, if someone's turned to Trump, some are just not voting. When a minority start looking at the Democrats for what they are, they would never vote for a Democrat again because they're not getting you any way you want to live, and they want to take the dreams of your kids away. They want to make them small. I'll say it again. Don't let anybody dream for you. Don't let anybody tell you what your limits are. If you got a government now starting to come up with your limits, what you can drive, how many times you can flush the commode, what you can eat, that is a sick country. Those countries go on to die from what they ought to be. I don't know what's going to happen overseas between now and the election. I'm just saying. All right. We got other things to talk about, but when I look at this election, I just shake my head. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. UN reports urges women's sports kept exclusive to females amid trans dominance. Well, yeah, I'm telling y'all this is coming. If you got any kind of brain, you knew this was going to happen. Take a break. Be right back. I've been telling you about Schumacher Homes for a long time. Now, for a limited time, you can choose from 5 different financing offers and pick one that works best for you. Whether you're an active duty, military, or veteran, you can take advantage of the exclusive VA construction loan offer. You can lock in 30-year fixed financing for as low as 3.875. How about that? Looking to stay in your home and start construction right away? A stay-in-your-home loan might be right for you. With this option, you can stay in your home during construction and not worry about moving twice. And for you first-time home buyers, we're not going to forget you. For a limited time, they're offering 30-year fixed financing as low as 3.875. Other financing offers include no-cost refinancing, conventional loans, and FHA construction loans. If you're thinking of building your dream custom home, there's no time like the present to start building. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com. Let them build your dream home. They're building dream homes one at a time. With the summer heat here, let's talk about your AC. You're looking for a reliable, locally owned company that you can trust? Call DAP Concepts AC and Heating. They have been serving all of Acadiana, the surrounding area, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. For your home or business, DAP Concepts AC and Heating has you covered with certified technicians specializing in everything from residential to large commercial HVAC systems available 24/7. These guys are focused on providing professional quality work and ensuring customer satisfaction every step of the way. You want the professionals? You want the best? This is them. Don't miss this summer special. 0% financing, up to $3,000 off qualifying high-efficiency equipment. Not only that, they will throw in a free 12-year part and labor warranty. That's right, 12 years part and labor. Wow. Don't you want to know more about them? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adap-ac.com. That's adap-ac.com. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to the Moon Griffon Show on a beautiful Tuesday. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Got some state news coming out the second hour of the program. Yeah, I was reading that report, UN Special Report on Violence Against Women and Girls suggests that men should not be allowed in women's sports. The UN got it right, but America don't have it right. I mean, for instance, one of the reporters recommended that women's sports should be relegated to women only. Gee whiz, I'd have never thought of that. A women's sport played by women. Wow. Man, maybe America, maybe Kamala Harris and Joe Biden will hear about this. And Barack Obama. Maybe California and New York. Actually, women playing in a women's sport. Wow. I'd have never thought it. This is so sick and silly. The report says that in order to, why did they listen to my program? The report says that in order to ensure safety and fairness in sports at all levels, they should, before adding that sports should ensure that female categories in organized sports are exclusively accessible to persons who are biological sex and female. Wow. Man, this is like news to me. I'd have never known that. Gee whiz. I never thought they would have had problems letting men say they were women. Also suggests athletes should be sex tested if they are adults. Who gets to do that? I don't want to do that, by the way. Can you imagine a sex test? You good? Check on the next one, feel them. You good? Check the next one. I don't think you're going to make it. The boys' room is right. The boys are playing in the next gym. In case where the sex of an athlete is unknown or uncertain, that's easy to find. A dignified, swift, non-invasive, accurate sex screening method, such as a cheek swab, or when necessary for exceptional reasons, genetic testing should be applied to confirm the athlete's sex. You know, used to when you were born, you put that in that male or female by him, it was over. Very simple. I told y'all, I would never take a job. I don't want a government job, but I would take one. If they would pay me really good money for the next, say, 10 years, I'd go to every hospital burping hospitals, and I could show them when the baby comes out, if it's male or female. I could teach every doctor and nurse, whoever's in there, what to look for male and female. And I promise you I could teach them. I just want to be paid well to do it. In non-professional sports spaces, the original birth certificate verification may be appropriate. Yes, it'll be appropriate unless you go to another state, but they don't do that anymore. Because there are states like California and New York are going, well, we're not going to put a sex on that because that hadn't been determined by the person until they get to a certain age, or we talk them into it when they're 10. Some exceptional circumstance, such as tests, may be followed up by more complex tests, the report said. Boy, I tell you what, folks. Man, I tell you what, these rocket scientists, Man, they got some brainiacs in this, huh? You got brainiacs figuring this stuff out. The report also notes that sports should protect the female category. Really? And to work to restore women's and girls' rights. No, not the Democrat Party head up in the United States of America. No, sir. A man can be a woman anytime they want to. I feel like a woman. Bum, bum. Then they say that the transgenders should have their rights and have sports for them. I've been saying that. And I always wondered these people that push this craziness. If it's true, a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. When women who trans to men, when is women who trans to men, when is a woman going to dominate a sport like men who transfer to women have in wrestling? Bob Walker was at Olympic wrestling where they had two men that competed for the championship. Boxing, that's it. Thank you. I knew Walker would know. Two boxers in the women's category. They competed for the women's championship in the gold and silver medal. That's it. When is a woman going to trans to a man and kick their rear ends? Have you seen that yet, Walker? You follow sports. You ain't seen that yet? Okay. I mean, if it's just a natural transition and it ain't a big deal and we don't have real sexes, when is a woman when is one going to show up in a college basketball game? Could you think Caitlin Clark could have ate the men's college basketball game up? You don't. I think she'd have got embarrassed. That ain't right. That's sexist. Tell her to go play over there. There was a clip, and I don't have it right now again. Who were the sisters? There were two black ladies. I apologize for not remembering their names, but they were Walker. They were sisters playing tennis. Huh? Yeah. What was their name? Williams was their name. It was two of them. Serena and I forget the other one. And they asked him one time on Saturday night, would you like to play against the men? She said, hell no. She said, why not? I said, it would destroy me. They would beat me. They would destroy me. I wouldn't even be able to return a serve. And the Williams sisters was as good as anybody that's ever played tennis. I mean, in the history of the world for women. Venus and Serena. I think that was right. Okay. I don't follow tennis, but I followed them. They were really good. And they may still be playing. I don't know if they are or not, but whatever. And they said they wouldn't play a man. They wouldn't dare play a man. A man would destroy them. Caitlin Clark, you think Caitlin Clark would dominate college and the NBA? She wouldn't make the team. Is it a cut on Caitlin Clark? Absolutely not. This discussion needs to end now. We need to end craziness all over the country. There's no reason to allow these men to say they're women to compete and win. I read one thing that they have won 890 championships. I don't know if that was around the country, but I think it was around the country. It might have been around the world. That men have taken championship away from women in sports now. 890, man. Unbelievable. All right, we got to take a break. Folks, go vote. Early voting all the way through next Tuesday, except on Sunday. Go vote. Be right back.
Look at this outrageous insurance bill.
Man, everything Washington does makes life more expensive. Thank God we have Governor Landry.
What's he doing?
Well, while Washington's made a mess of things, inflation, gas, food, and the economy, Jeff Landry's fighting back, recruiting new jobs, trimming state government, and standing up for us.
Thank you. Everyone's struggling. Everyone except for the insurance companies. They're getting rich off record profits, while my rates keep going up.
Jeff Landry knows that. He's taking action. Jeff signed nearly 30 bills to reduce rates and vetoed a bill that lets insurance companies profit even more.
Oh, but they didn't like that.
Political insiders aren't happy, but Jeff won't slow down. He just keeps fighting for us and winning.
Governor Jeff Landry always puts families over special interests and fights for what's fair. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
Tax resolution.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
More Americans are going to the polls 2 weeks before Election Day. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, adding to the 15 million people who have voted already early. And Wisconsin's one of the 4 states allowing in-person voting today early for absentee ballots there.
Nobody wants to learn the lesson that the Hillary Clinton campaign learned the hard way back in 2016, and that is you can't take Wisconsin for granted. So that is why the Democrats are pulling out their most potent weapon, former President Barack Obama.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Madison, Wisconsin, where Obama will campaign today with Vice President Harris's running mate Tim Walz.
Now, Obama has already voiced concern that black men are not motivated by the Harris-Walz campaign, and with a very broad brush, he accused them of sexism. The quote was that black men just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Former President Trump's about to hold an event with Latino leaders in Miami after a USA Today Suffolk poll gives Trump a lead among Latino voters.
By 11 points. So, Vice President Harris is losing traction amongst those Hispanics. The Harris campaign is fighting back to hold on, putting out a campaign ad with legendary singer Mark Anthony, and she's also taping an interview today with Telemundo.
Fox's Aisha Hasni in Miami. The FBI is now investigating the leak of American intelligence that may compromise Israel, appearing to detail its plan to retaliate against Iran for this month's missile attack, something that Secretary of State Antony Blinken may be discussing in Israel today with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and days after Israel killed Hamas's leader. Blinken will also
push for a ceasefire and a peace deal. A senior State Department official tells Fox when it comes to any solution in Gaza, it's unclear what the next few weeks will hold. Hamas needs to figure out its own leadership in order to get back to the table.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv as the U.S. wraps up the mission in Iraq fighting the Islamic State group. Iraq's prime minister has announced today a military operation has killed ISIS's leader in that country, along with 8 other senior terrorist leaders. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliate.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Get ready for something fresh and exciting with the Josh Guillory Show. Josh Guillory brings a new perspective to the airwaves, analyzing news and issues coming out of Baton Rouge and Washington, D.C., and breaking down how they affect you. Engaging, raw, and informative, Guillory knows how to have fun while delivering the latest in politics and current events. With daily features that entertain and inform, you won't want to miss a single episode. The Josh Guillory Show, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, only on News Talk 96.5, KPEL.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is great to be with you on this beautiful Tuesday. Oh, it is gorgeous out there. The weather is beautiful. Man, you like to get out there. No, I'm not going fishing today. I can dream. One day they're not going to let me even dream to go fishing. I'm sure they'll come up with a way that you can't catch any fish anymore. I don't need any help doing that. I can do that by myself. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, 844-766-6607. Wallop Hub says, Louisiana named 2024 least safe state in America. Here's what they got. We overall ranked 50th. That's out of 50 states. By the way, this is not my number. I ain't put it out to get anybody mad. I'm just telling you they're ranking us 50th. And murders and non-negligent manslaughters per capita, we 50th. Assaults per capita, 46. Loss amounts from climate disaster. Why did they put loss amounts from climate disaster? No wonder we up there. Climate disasters per capita. That's stupidity to even put something like that in there. Job security, fatal occupation injuries, fatalities per 100 million vehicles, miles of travel, bullying incident rates, sex offenders rate per capita 17th, and then share of uninsured population. So that's kind of a weird kind of set of numbers that they're looking at, if you ask me. But Ed Pelican's reporting that at the top of the page. I don't know how safe we are compared to other states. I feel, and by the way, in all fairness, and KPEL wrote the article, if you ask people in the state of Louisiana, I think most people feel pretty safe. I think most people feel pretty safe in the state of Louisiana. But, that's numbers that goes out there, to national. Everybody gets to see it. It is what it is. By the way, I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I want to bring it back up just for a second. They keep writing articles on Psycho Bill. Psycho Bill has raised $5.8 million. Man, he better raise 2 or 3 times that. The media wants Psycho Bill to go back in because he's anti-Trump. He's hadn't told us who he's voting for president. He told us before Trump would never be the presidential nominee. If Trump loses, Cassidy, watch my word, Cassidy would be like the Democrats. He's going to be so excited he can't see straight. And he's going to run his mouth again. He's going to hurt himself again for 2026 election. If I might be wrong, but it was a Louisiana Network article. Senator Bill Cassidy raised a record $5.8 million ahead of the 2025 election cycle. Am I wrong by saying the next election cycle is 2026? I mean, it's 2026, not 2025. The article goes on to say, the headlines say 2025. Sean Richardson needed to change that. And then the article said, who's up for re-election in 2026? So what they're doing is they're trying to put the money out there to kind of scare people off. Nobody's worried about Cassidy. I'm just going to let y'all know that I've been privileged multiple polls. Cassidy's in the toilet. His numbers in the teens. They're so low, they're laughable. They're so low, they're laughable by Republicans. I'm talking about by Republicans. We got a closed primary. And it's not just his vote with Trump. It's his arrogance with money and the Green New Deal. You know? I talked to people in his camp. He running. They mentioned Eric Scametta might run. Steve, State Treasurer John Fleming's talking about running. I've heard Clay Higgins might want to look at this race. You know? So I'm just kind of getting a kick out of this because if you get people in there, Fleming, and look, Clay has been a very good congressman. Fleming was a good congressman when he was in there. And I don't know too much about Scametta. Matter of fact, I might have Scametta on Friday. Talk about something totally different, but we'll ask him. And I'm telling y'all, this guy's not going to pick up steam. He could have $28 million. People don't know. I guarantee you, if people would call from the Republican Party, especially the women group, they'll tell you they're not supporting Psycho Bill Cassidy. Under no circumstances are they voting for Bill. People have taken a hard stand on Cassidy. Let him raise money. Okay, he's giving out money through the federal government. His big money players, they all got ties in the government. He was always going to be able to raise money as a sitting United States senator and an incumbent. Don't fear the money. The people that vote in a Republican caucus when we go to closed primary is going to be the solid conservatives who do not like Bill Cassidy. They don't. Bill Cassidy might be a nice guy. Go home or go back to Illinois and become a senator. That's where you belong. That's who you like to vote like. You think Cassidy's going to bring in Liz Cheney to do some fundraising for him? You think Cassidy will bring in old milquetoast Mitt Romney, a former presidential candidate? You think he'll bring in Lisa Murkowski from Alaska or Susan Collins from Maine? Now, he'll go out there and raise money with them. Cassidy's fooling himself. But I'm going to tell you, folks, I know what happens. Money talks. Jeff Landry, Kennedy and Cassidy announced and endorsed Jeff Landry. Jeff's probably going to have to sit on the sidelines. My opinion only. My opinion only. May not happen, but I'm telling you, you have to sit on the sideline. Cassidy has nowhere to turn, folks. So he turns to his CNN and MSNBC, and he can raise money. He's a sitting United States senator. I don't want any candidates to be persuaded, well, you got so much money, because most of the advertisement you do, a lot of it's going to go to people who ain't going to get to vote in the primary. People like me are going to vote because I'm going to become a Republican again. And for one reason. I want to vote against Cassidy one more time, and this will be the last time he's on a ballot. He's going to get smoked. And it's not going to get better for him unless he can buy enough votes to get better. And that's what he's doing with the federal government. That's why he's all tied in this Green New Deal. And my friends in the oil and gas industry, you better be careful because now you're going to have to endorse him and give him money. Psycho Bill hurt us. Anyway, I don't care what he raises. I'm telling y'all, there's some solid polls that show him. And if I told y'all what the polls and who the polls were, you would be 100% agreeing with me. But if I told y'all what people have said that are really close to him and people in powerful positions who understand what's going on, they say he don't have a clue how bad it is for him. But most of them will tell you he does have a clue. He's ignoring it. I just don't see Cassidy as a major player in the race. He might come in second or third. Now, I'm going to tell you, the party, and I don't know if the party's endorsing anything. I mean, I have no idea what the party's going to do. But, I mean, I don't think they would endorse in a race that had so many people, but I do think they would endorse if they only had one Republican going against Cassidy. The Republican Party, to their credit, is on record as censoring Psycho Bill. He does not have the support within the Republican Party. One of the reasons you don't see him at hardly any Republican events. I mean, for God's sakes, last year when they had a Republican convention in Lafayette at the Cajun Dome, I want to say it was at the Cajun Dome, he was the only Republican they didn't invite. Now, some didn't come, but he was the only one they didn't invite. I think Kennedy ended up having to back out, but I think he sent some kind of video. They didn't ask for Bill Cassidy to send a video. They censored the man. He has no base. His base is gone. He got money. He's going to have a lot more than that. Remember when David Vitter had all that money for the governor's race? And we blew that. So Cassidy can raise all the money he wants. He better buy as many votes as he can in the next 2 years. So with closed primaries, his goose is cooked. I know a lot of people out there cannot wait to vote against Psycho Bill. They can't wait to vote against him. And I'm one of them. But I'm going to make sure I get to vote one more time. Because in the Republican closed primaries, I'm going to get a chance to vote. All I got to do is register Republican. I didn't say I would stand Republican. I said I would register for the time being. And I know several other people said, if you do it, I'm doing it too. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm telling you now. If I'm still living, I'm still here. Whether I'm on a radio or not, I'm going to go register Republican and vote against it. Because, I mean, we can't have him as a United States Senator for 6 more years. And he probably won't run again. And then guess what? No telling what he'll vote for. You're going to send Cassidy back with Trump as the president? And the good news is, this is Trump country. And if Trump is the president, Cassidy's going to have to deal with that too. He's going to have to deal with that too. So let's see what happens. But so don't worry about looking at the money and all the money they got. You can laugh at that if you want to. That's all trying to get some kind of momentum. And unfortunately, there'll be a few foolish, big-time people that will support him. Ain't nothing you can do about that, but let me tell you, they're not the masses of the voters that are Republicans, and that's the people I'm talking, blue-collar workers like me. They ain't going to vote against some Cassidy. They want some of that. They're going to get a chance in 2026 if he stays in the race. I personally don't think he'd run. I think the best thing for him to do is run as a Democrat. And why not run as a Democrat? Hell, you've been acting like one. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. The Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. We'll take a break. You're listening to The Moon Griffon Show.
The sun has never raised its rates, but your local energy company sure has. Solar Louisiana can install residential home solar systems with huge battery storage, or they can add batteries to your existing system. If there's an outage, you're sitting pretty with all the electricity you need. Imagine an electric bill so low, you can pay it with pocket change you find in the couch. Solar Louisiana has the experience you need to make the right decision. Online at solarlouisiana.net. Your energy independence company, Solar Louisiana.
If you've got some projects to do around the house and you need the voice of experience, of local voice, somebody that can help you and knows Louisiana, you need to check out Stein Home & Yard. They're a Louisiana company, founded, established here. They've been based here. Their story dates back all the way to 1946. Stein Home & Yard has all the things you need to make your house ready for fall. Great deals on fall plants like mums, as well as all sorts of handy items you need for your house. Need to upgrade your power tool game? They've got great deals on DeWalt power tools. They also have great deals on grills for your next tailgate for the big game this weekend. Traeger pellet grills, Weber grills, Charbroil, so many great brands. And it's all right there at your fingertips. Just pull them up, steinhome.com. Steinhome.com is where you need to go to find the greatest deals on your home improvement needs. Steinhome.com, a great Louisiana company.
Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh, every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good. If you're selling the Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I have known him for years. Hi, hello, welcome back. It is a pleasure to be with you on a beautiful Tuesday. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice. Somebody did make a statement, the Republican Party is full of Bill Cassidy Republicans on the state and national level. Yeah, that always scares me because they just go with him because he's sitting there. They don't really care what he did or does. It's really probably what they do for them. It's Republicans like him and Liz Cheney that have hurt us. And they have. I get it. I understand. I'm just letting you know that the money don't mean anything. People come out for them and all that don't mean anything. I'm telling you, the regular voters, I've seen polls. The polls and the pollsters I talked to, okay, they basically say, they didn't say he's in trouble. They said he's in big, big trouble. What can he do to change that? Nothing. But you get money, the media is going to help him. They're going to try to make it look like, he didn't do anything wrong. And if Trump was to get beat, he's going to pound Trump too. We lost the presidency twice because of Trump. No, we lost the presidency twice because of you and people like you. So I just wanted you to feel better about it because I know there's people going, they got people going to actually vote for that. Yes, absolutely. Psycho Bill gets some support. But in the Republican Party, that's like being in your family. That's everybody gets to come in. Everybody gets to come in. Everybody gets to say. It's a close-knit family. And we don't all agree. But a lot of people agree that Bill Cassidy needs to go. So I feel really good about him getting beat. Of course, you never know when you might have a Scott Angel or a Jay Darden or even get involved in a race. Eddie Rispone come in at the last second and beat somebody up. And you always can have a backstabbing Republican. Don't forget that. Cassidy proved that there's backstabbing Republicans. So I'm just telling you when it comes to it, I'm willing to go. I'll tell you how much I feel about it. I'm willing to go become a Republican again just to vote against Cassidy. I'm willing to do that. I want to contribute. I'll take about 4 votes with me at least in my family. They'll come and vote with me. Maybe nobody else will, but I'll be voting in that election in 2 years. Lord willing, I'm still here. All right, so as you know, I shared with you last week that they had got this group out of Boston to come in and look at the DOTD. And it's amazing because they hit the headlines of the editorial today of the Devil's Advocate. Our state roads are bad, river farmer DOT welcome. Wow. We got the advocate on our side now, but not really. They went basically through what I went through the other day with this Boston Consulting Group that was commissioned by Governor Jeff Landry with $19 billion backlog on roads. I believe that because there ain't nobody fixing no roads. Okay? So the group comes in there, and they basically figure out we need $1.2 billion per year now to maintain the current operations, undertaking 4 big projects as well, to reduce the backlog and maintain current. $1.2 billion, where are we going to get that from? We're going to beg the federal government? First of all, who put us in this $19 billion backlog? John Alario was there for 48 years. Bill Edwards was there for 16, 8 as a representative, 8 as a governor. I mean, everybody wants to talk about John Alario, this legendary figure who fixed nothing. John Alario's supervision, we lost 2 congressmen, and now we got a $19 billion backlog, and somebody's going to tell me about John Alario. And these people were horrible for the state. Bill Edwards was horrible. He fixed a lot of roads too, huh? No, but he's getting filthy rich on the Green New Deal. We got to have $1.2 billion just to maintain what we got and to get to doing something. A little bit more on this when we get back. But you know, the bottom line is when I get through this, the DOTD, the devil's advocate never talks about going through what we did the last 30 or 40 years. I'll get to that in a minute. I've been bragging about Dino Hardwoods for a long time. A good friend, Charles Altman, they do an excellent job. And if you're looking for unique or hard-to-find hardwood lumber, plywood, and molding, is Dino Hardwoods. That's where you need to go. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Trust Dino Hardwoods for all your hardwood lumber and cypress needs. With the holiday season fast approaching, as you know, a timeless handmade gift using quality lumber by Dino just means more. With 3 great locations to serve you now, Broussard, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and now he's expanded in Tyler, Texas. Folks, there's something for every discerning woodworker at Dino. Go to DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com, and check out the unique and hard-to-find hardwood, lumber, plywood, and molding that you can't just find anywhere. Charles Altman, trust me, is not a better man in the business. He knows what he's doing, and he wants to service you. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com.
My husband and I were invited to a 50th wedding anniversary. I noticed this little lady, and she was basically sitting alone. Her daughter turned to me just as I came over to introduce myself, and she said, "My mother has Alzheimer's." She had not said her daughter's name in 2 years. She didn't recognize her. I said, "Listen, we might be able to help her." And about 3 weeks later, they show up. We gave her 5 days of treatment. This lady, each day got a little better and a little better. She started flirting with the guys. She was so cute. My friend said, "You're smiling a lot." And she said, "They make those here." The next day, says out loud, "Martha, would you get me a cup of coffee, please?" Her daughter, Martha, breaks down crying because her mother hadn't said her name in 2 years.
Learn more about treatment for Alzheimer's at SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com. Springfield Wellness Center.
Are you in the market for a new...
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is a beautiful Tuesday. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice. And the only other thing I wanted to say on the Cassidy deal was if Trump gets beat, look for Cassidy to be very cocky, saying things and throwing bombs, which will hurt him. He don't understand that, but he's smarter than you and me. And blame Trump for everything. Trump's not to blame if he gets beat. I mean, think about what they've done to him for 9 years in the media and the Democrats and some of the Republicans themselves, the Liz Cheneys and Romneys and Cassidy himself. They're the cause of it. Trump might not be the great guy that some people think he is, but he's not near about what they wrote about him. Not even close. I get a kick out of watching some of these Republicans that are, from Mike Pence to some people that went in his cabinet that have turned on him. Every single one of them are swamp creatures. They big-time swamp creatures. There are people that like the way this country is being run. They don't care how much debt goes. They don't care that you have a problem paying your bills or eating. They don't care. And they got Republicans that do that too. Republicans for communism is what they're talking about with Kamala Harris. I mean, getting rid of the American dream, you got Republicans out there that are pushing that. So Psycho Bill can say what he wants to. You don't see Psycho Bill out there supporting Trump. He's not going to. He would embarrass himself even more if he did that. He's got his pride to think of. The hell with the country. So anyway, going back to the DOTD. So that was Advocate Does a piece. And I'm going to go back all the details. The Boston group said state revenue sources that are dedicated to DOT are insufficient, have not kept pace with cost growth, are not sufficiently diversified, and often lack flexibility. Now, that's fine to say all that. What did they do with the money for the last 30 or 40 years? Folks, to say we hadn't paid for road and hadn't paid taxes for road is an outright lie. We have. What we got to find out is, where did the money go? The consultant also noted the department debt has grown to the point where it's impacted the work of the agencies. DOTD projects often run very past their expected timeline, the consultant. Of course, they're designed to do that. That's the good old boy network. I've watched them do it, folks, not only on roads, on everything. I'll give you an example, because I am a nice guy. If you go back and look at Poverty Point, where Francis DeFee Thompson and him started this lake craziness, okay? It was economic development. I think you're going to find that they were hoping to spend about $10 million, 10 to 20, somewhere in the range. I think they end up spending somewhere between 40 and 60. Everybody does it. Ambassador Caffrey, people that know that in Lafayette, they're always working on that road. It was never designed to be fixed. It was designed to keep working so somebody can make some money. And they take it and they come back and say, we need another million. We need another million. We need another million. Pretty soon, that's pretty good money. We got tons of debt in DOTD. Some of the problems aren't the DOTD's fault. Lawmakers are allowed to add items to the DOT budget without feasibility studies. Unexpected influxes, one-time money often make it difficult to plan and execute multi-year projects. That's the legislature. That don't surprise me. They said it has a public trust problem. Duh. Folks, the problems, we just don't address the problems in the state. We on our leg and tell us it's raining. And it's a problem with the legislature, a problem with leadership. Why didn't John Alario fix it? Why didn't the legendary Bell fix it? Why aren't they talking about, well, at least the last 8 years, Bell Edwards did this and this? Nothing in the report because he didn't do a damn thing. That's why Bell's name's not listed in here doing anything. He didn't do anything. Where's the devil's advocate? That was their guy. That was the guy they pushed. Can they tell me one thing Bell did? And if you tell me balance the budget, I don't want to hear that, because he had to raise $7 billion in taxes and got every federal dollar he could possibly get. I'm just telling you, when I read this, I almost laugh at it, because not one time in here do they go, maybe we ought to look at what happened to the money. Maybe we ought to look at exactly every penny. Because if I'm reading this report, after reading this report and reading what these people are writing about, I don't want to give any more money to DOTD, do you? The recommendation raising the state gas tax, which remained the same for 3 decades if costs have risen. Well, you do realize, folks, this is a fact. When we pass a tax for roads, local, state, they figure in inflation, construction costs, and all that over the life of the period that we're paying the tax. So they want to raise, the answer's always more money, but the answer is never, what did they do with the money? So, once again, we're going to give money to people who didn't do a good job in the legislature who didn't do a good job? They want to want an answer creating a road usage fee. Yes, we're going to drive on the roads we're paying for that suck, and we're going to have to pay more money to ride on them. That's really intelligent. They want a scoring system to help prioritize projects. Or what happens is a new governor comes in or a new legislature comes in, they change it up. But they never say, why don't we see where every penny went? Louisiana residents, they finish, have been long cynics when it comes to state critical infrastructure. We don't get them, they're not fixed. Every road project, I tell you what y'all do, go back and look at the TIME program. And I was back in the Mike Foster days. They had a TIME program. They were going to fix, 12, 13, 14 roads. We got to go back in the 90s. My program had just started in 93. We're going to do this TIME program and refinance it and all that stuff. They never fixed all the roads. They had no money to maintain the roads. That was the TIME program. Just tell them, go look at the roads and see what they fixed. So I'm supposed to vote for more money in this department. I'm supposed to vote for the more money with this legislature. And I'm not talking about the one that's in there now. Some of the people were there, had been there a long time, like Francis Thompson, the fee. But, see, this is what happens. We don't fix anything. We don't do anything. I'm hoping Landry and the new legislature will sooner or later. I'm just being blunt with you. $19 billion backlog. I've always said this. The roads not being fixed exemplifies Louisiana. Now, you notice they didn't talk about it. There have been people that have made lots of money, quote, fixing and building roads in the state of Louisiana. You realize that? There's been all kind of money made. We have multi-millionaires from people fixing roads. I know you're going, what do you mean? The multi-millionaires didn't fix the road. Exactly. Same thing with lawmakers. These lawmakers, John Alario led this state for almost 50 years. Francis Thompson's been around forever. Francis Thompson, when they built those lakes in Delhi, said in a magazine, for us, it was more important to build this lake than it was to fix roads. That's a quote from him. I got it in the paper. I've laminated it. So our area is more important to have this lake than fix roads. I don't believe that, by the way, but he said it. Why? Because he cashed in on the lake. We got people that are multimillionaires from road work and legislators that have made a lot of money from their position. $19 billion backlog. $19 billion. Let that sit in for a second. That's unheard of in other states. And the answer is always going to be what I told you. If y'all just pay more taxes, we'd fix it. Well, we paid taxes for roads. I think we paid enough taxes for our roads to be gold, but they're not. So anyway, I'm just letting you know they're going to come back with a package. It's going to be raised taxes. They have nothing else. That's all they got. Take a break. Be right back. Nestled in gently rolling hills in North Louisiana is a place that produces the finest Louisiana wines around, Landry Vineyards. This place is phenomenal. Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyards wine They also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, and live music on Saturdays, and tastings Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana. I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine direct from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. A red blend they labeled Bayoutage, Blackberry Merlot, Cabs, Rosé, Petit Syrah, Dry and Sweet Whites, and many, many other wines. Learn more about their wines and their vineyard online at LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. My lovely bride and I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. If they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. Woo, good wine right here.
It started with direct messages. That's how they got to my son. Gavin was just 17 and looking forward to college. He was contacted by online predators pretending to be a teenage girl. He was the victim of sexual extortion. In less than 2 hours after that first message, Gavin died by suicide. It's a pain I don't want any other parent to feel. Social media is causing an epidemic of bullying, anxiety, and depression, and it's leaving kids vulnerable to the kind of predators that targeted my son. We have to hold big tech accountable and pass the Kids Online Safety Act. I couldn't protect my son, but now it's my mission to make sure all kids are protected. I'm a father and a proud conservative, and I'm here to tell Speaker Johnson, pass the Kids Online Safety Act, because nothing is more important than protecting our kids.
Paid for by Issue One Action, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. IssueOneAction.org.
Hello, KDN.
Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. It is a Matthew James Business Reduction Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice. All right, just need to make sure I check something. So, one of the things somebody had brought it to my attention, I'd mentioned it earlier, is I know they're eventually going to go to mileage tax, not a millage tax, mileage tax, miles tax, whatever you want to call it. So that means a guy like me, I figured out that just going on my vehicle that I have now, and it's about right. When I was living in Monroe, I was running about 30,000 miles a year. I was up in Monroe. You had to get to everything. It was a lot further. I live in Lafayette, get to things a little closer, unless I go up north. So if you look at me and you say, okay, you're doing 25,000 miles a year, and that's basically what I put on my truck. And you take somebody who drives a vehicle and they just stay in town, they just say they do half, they do about 12,000. And they're going to say the tax on miles would be fair. Well, I'm already paying more taxes than the person that's doing 12,000. I'm already being hit harder than anybody else if they say they're only driving 10 or 12,000 miles a year. So if they say we're going to do a tax on the mile, trust me, and they're not calling it this, but I'm going to call it. It's a big tax increase. I guarantee you it would be a gigantic tax increase. And that's once again, they'll say, well, we're going miles now. They won't call it tax increase. They just say we're going to do it differently. But trust me, if the change comes, it's for one reason. Is to make sure that DOTD gets a lot more money. That's fine. Eventually they're probably going to get us on top of the inflation, on top of your vehicle insurance, on top of liability insurance, on top of your flood insurance, on top of your home insurance, on top of taxes. I mean, they're just making it what the middle class is going to be lower middle on a good day. It's not our fault that we hadn't fixed roads. It's people we've elected's fault. Well, who put them there? We did. You know what the number one issue in the state is that we hadn't fixed? Insurance. Car insurance. Liability insurance. For our truckers out there. That we hadn't even made a step in the right direction. Here we go. Our Moon Griffon is praying for a step in the right direction. And that's the number one issue right now. Now, if the governor has a big tax, I had a long conversation with a few people this morning on Governor Landry's big tax deal. There's a lot of good in it, like I told you. Tyler Bridges did a story, and he said new Louisiana plan would give tax cut to all, but still hit poor harder than wealthy. Governor Landry would cut taxes. Now, this is what makes me mad about a story, but anyway, would cut tax virtually everyone, but keep in place the regressive tax system that continues to hit the poor harder. Then he says the plan, which he wants lawmakers to adopt, would leave the state with less money to pay for schools, prisons, and other government programs unless changes he's seeking, and corporate taxes also raise substantially more money. Said it was incomplete because of the proposed changes on the corporate side. And you know what? I don't know who to believe anymore. And this is going to be a problem for the governor getting this passed. It ain't going to be me. I'm just watching. I have my comments, but I'm not. I want to pass something big. And I was told this morning by somebody, Moon, I promise you, this will be, I ask him when it comes down to it, because the problem right now is Senator Cameron Henry. Half-ass Henry is not getting off his rear end to lift the finger. And the Senate is the one, they want that 0.45. They're not moving it without that 0.45 sales tax. They ain't moving anything as long as they keep the 0.45. So somebody ain't got to Henry. And there's your problem. He's a problem for everything we're trying to do in the state right now. Half-ass is a problem. So what's going to happen? And the thing about it is, on something big, you got 3 or 4 different components of this thing. If it doesn't pass it as is, then, it could be a nothing burger. And Jeff cannot go to the special session without half-ass Henry on board. And it can't be watered down any more than it is. I played yesterday. Walk, you still got that thing from that Iowa governor. Did you keep that? We played it yesterday. And she was on with Neil Cavoto, and she talked about the core of tax reform starts with cutting spending. And that's where it ought to be. But when you got Tyler Bridges, I ain't got no money for schools and no money for that. That's all BS. Nobody knows that right now. But here's what the Iowa governor said, which I think they ought to listen to. The core of tax reform was what Iowa did. They found a way to cut spending and eliminate and get rid of 21 agencies. Listen.
When I look at what I was able to do, just cutting 21 agencies to save $215 million, and I can tell you, Neil, that's conservative in 3 years. Yeah. Think of what they could do if they would cut taxes, reduce regulations, red tape, reduce the size of government, and plow those savings back into tax cuts for the American people and the business community. You don't get a better result by increasing the corporate tax rate. You don't get a better result by increasing taxes and regulations on businesses.
Spending is the core, but Governor, you said it there. Spending is the core. Got it, Governor.
Well, it is.
Real honor.
It's the foundation.
I think this is something.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell Jeff. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody around this tax plan. Spending is the core. Spending and limiting on what you're going to spend has to be a part of this. I'm not saying I'm not going to support it. I'm just telling you, if it's not, it's going to come back and kick us back in the butt. It's got to be. It's the core problem. You got to fix that. And I don't know how much is being worked on the spending cuts. You have to shut government down. You have to not shut them down, but you got to cut them back. They're our problem. They're not helping the situation none. All right. We got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go nowhere. We'll see you in a minute. The rest of you, God bless. Have a great day.
Look at this outrageous insurance bill.
Man, everything Washington does makes life more expensive. Thank God we have Governor Landry.
What's he doing?
Well, while Washington's made a mess of things, inflation, gas, food, and the economy, Jeff Landry's fighting back, recruiting new jobs, trimming state government, and standing up for us.
Thank you. Everyone's struggling. Everyone except for the insurance companies. They're getting rich off record profits, while my rates keep going up.
Jeff Landry knows that. He's taking action. Jeff signed nearly 30 bills to reduce rates and vetoed a bill that lets insurance companies profit even more.
Oh, but they didn't like that.
Political insiders aren't happy, but Jeff won't slow down. He just keeps fighting for us and winning.
Governor Jeff Landry always puts families over special interests and fights for what's fair. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.